it's Becky. I'm back with another video in my Disney World planning prep series. This video is all about my top 10 tips for going to Disney World. I've got a couple suggestions that I have learned over the years and thought I would share them with you. So the first thing is to not make a fast pass for a timed show for the most part. If you don't know what a fast pass is, it's where you get like a basically go to the front of the line ticket. Well, now they're not tickets, they're on wristbands, but it's basically kind of a go to the front of the line kind of a thing where you have a certain time where you're supposed to go back to a certain ride or show and you get to the front of the line. And so it's a really nice way to save time, and we do definitely utilize our fast passes to the fullest, but I don't recommend necessarily using them for a show like the Little Mermaid show or the Beauty and the Beast show or anything like that, because those are already timed events. If you get there at a decent time, close to the starting time, then you're going to get a pretty good seat. And it seems like the way that Disney has kind of arranged their fast pass system now, you really need to save your fast passes for those rides that you really want to ride, or the most popular rides that are going to have the longest wait. That's the better use of your fast passes, in my opinion, than using them on a timed show. The exception to that is the Fantasmic dining option that you can have at Hollywood Studios. Fantasmic is the Hollywood Studios nighttime light laser kind of a show. It's like a stage show with lights and lasers, and they do lots of neat stuff on water. And it's it's in a really neat outdoor amphitheater, but unless you get there pretty early, you're not going to get a good seat close up to the front. So one way to kind of not have to use a fast pass but still be able to get the best seats available without having to wait really a long time is to utilize the Fantasmic dining packages that they offer at Hollywood Studios. And there's a couple of restaurants that participate in this, and it's the Hollywood Brown Derby, Mama Melrose's, and Hollywood and Vine. There's those three restaurants at Hollywood Studios. If you make a dining reservation there with the Fantasmic dining option, after you get done eating, they give you a ticket actually, which is like a fast pass, where you'll go back with that ticket to a separate entrance from everybody else, and you can get in later on. You won't have to wait as long, but they have saved you a seat basically for the best viewing area. So that's a really neat way to get a good seat for Fantasmic, which is a really popular show, without having to sit there all night and wait 2 hours before the showtime to get a good seat. And you can find out more about that on the Disney World website, or you can also call 1-800-WDW-DINE, and they can tell you more about the times and the options for that. But no matter what park we're at, I always recommend eating a really early dinner, and that way you beat out all the people that are eating at the typical dinner times like 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. So we usually eat dinner around 3 or 4, and then if we're hungry again later around dinner time, we'll have like a snack like a Mickey pretzel. But that really helps to break up the day. It kind of gives everybody a rest, especially if you're going to be staying at the park late that night. You might want a little bit of a breather in the late afternoon. So that is my recommendation as far as eating dinner. Plus the availability is usually a lot better at 3 or 4 o'clock for dinner than it is to try to get a dinner reservation at, say, our Be Our Guest. Like if you want to eat at Be Our Guest and then you try to get a dinner reservation at 6 or 7 o'clock, it's going to be a lot busier then than it is at 4 o'clock when they start serving dinner. So definitely think of that as an option. There's a lot of characters around, whether that be in the park or at a dining experience, like if you go to character dining at Chef Mickey's or somewhere. If you think you have kids that are going to be scared of the characters because they are pretty big, I would recommend saving your character dining experiences for later on in your trip. Like, don't go the first day to Chef Mickey's where they're going to see Mickey and Goofy and Pluto, and they're huge if they've never seen characters up close before, because it can be a little overwhelming. So like I would say, give them a couple days at the park where they're going to see characters kind of out and about. Maybe they'll want to meet one in person, and they'll get kind of used to the fact that they're really big. Because when they're little kids and they're sitting at their table and they're just trying to eat their food, and all of a sudden giant Mickey comes up, it's kind of scary. So maybe put that towards the end of your trip to if you think you have kids that are going to be scared. Another recommendation, if you know about the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, it's like a little place where girls can go and get like their hair and nails done, and like the princess hair and a dress and all that stuff. You can definitely still do that. It's quite expensive, but if you want an alternative to that, if you go to the Castle Couture shop behind Cinderella Castle in Magic Kingdom, you will find they will give you pixie dust. So all you have to do is ask a cast member there for some pixie dust, and they have like a glitter wand, and they'll shake it over your kids and they get covered in glitter, and it'll be on everybody before the day's over. But the kids love it, and it gives them an extra little sparkle and a little bit of a magical touch to their day. Even if you plan on doing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, it's still something fun to do, and it's free, so definitely don't forget to stop by Castle Couture at Magic Kingdom. If you do plan on going to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, I highly recommend purchasing your own dress before you go to your appointment, like before you leave your house. Like you can get them at the Disney store or for Amazon or Disney World, DisneyStore.com, wherever you decide to get it. It's usually a lot cheaper. Last year my daughter wanted a Rapunzel dress, and it was $65 at Disney World, and there was one on the Disney Store website. It was like $40, and I think the one on the website was prettier, and it played music, which, I mean, who doesn't want a dress that plays music? So I would definitely recommend bringing your own dress, even if your kid doesn't know that they're going to go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. You know, just pack it away in a garment bag, and they won't know. And then when you get there, you can be like, you get to put this on, and they're going to give you princess hair and makeup and nails, because the cheapest package at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is $60, and that only includes hair, makeup, nails, and a sash. If you want to add a dress to that, you're looking to add at least another $50 to $60 to that. Already $60 for their hair and nails. So it's going to save you a lot of money to bring your own dress before you leave. We also utilize the in-room refrigerator to save a lot of money. We, as soon as we get to the hotel and we get all settled in, my husband will go to a grocery store and get milk and water, and that way we bring our own stuff. And so then in the morning when you go to breakfast, like if you are staying at a Disney resort, they actually give you a refillable mug that you get free refills of sodas for the length of your stay. But you know, for breakfast you don't necessarily want a soda. So actually, I should say soft drinks. I don't know what to call it. We just call it Coke, but I don't know what to say in these videos. I'm always like, well, if I say Coke, somebody's gonna say what? But soft drinks, you get unlimited refills of soft drinks. But we use those cups to, because everybody will get one. Like if you have a reservation for 4 people staying at a Disney resort, you get 4 refillable mugs. And so everybody will pick out their own color, and they use that mug throughout the week. So we'll buy milk and keep it in the refrigerator in the room, and then when we go to breakfast the next morning, we go ahead and fill up the mugs with milk, and they have milk to drink. So if you're eating at a Disney resort or a restaurant with your dining plan, if you have the Disney dining plan, it does usually include a drink, but usually it's just like a little tiny carton of milk, and that's not enough for anybody. So we'll bring our own little carton, our own mug of milk from the hotel, and that way we can not have to worry about buying extra milk or whatever when we get there. So definitely utilize those to your advantage. If you're not staying at a Disney resort, still I would recommend bringing your child's like a thermos or a Tervis mug or something to bring, where you can bring drinks from the hotel, whether that be orange juice or milk or water or whatever, just because it'll save you money at restaurants to not have to buy a drink, and you can always rinse it out and use it later on in the parks for water or whatever. We do purchase water, but we also still bring our own Brita filtered bottles. Like the kids versions are about this big, and they have a filter that's built into the nozzle. And so even if we have bottled water or like a gallon of water, we still just fill up their filtered bottles, and they're able to have their own water bottles that are labeled to have their, you know, their own water in them, and they're filtered, and it's a lot better to drink that than it is to go buy bottles of water at Disney World, because the parks, they're like $4 a bottle. If you're on the Disney dining plan, you can use your snack credit to buy a bottle of water, but if you've already got your own water, then save your snacks for things that are going to be more expensive. So kind of along those lines, Starbucks, they have a Starbucks now, as far as I know, at all the parks except Animal Kingdom. I think they're getting their Starbucks in summer of this year, 2015. But I know Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios, there's a place in all of those parks that sells Starbucks, and last time we were there, and unless they've changed it, that still counts as a snack credit. So I can go in the morning and get a Java Chip Frappuccino, use my Disney dining plan, and it's going to count as a snack. My last tip as far as riding things is, if you have younger kids, to make sure that you use something that Disney calls the ride swap option. So basically what it is, if you have a kid, an older kid and a younger kid, like in my situation, I have an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. Well, let's say the 11-year-old wants to ride the Tower of Terror, but the 5-year-old doesn't want to. So we wait in line together as a family, and then we tell, when we get to the end of the line, when it's our turn, we tell the cast member there we want to ride swap. And so basically what that is the older, like the first parent will ride with the older kid and ride together. And then when they get back down, they get to go back through line again without waiting all over again, and just tell them you have a ride swap, and then the other parent can ride with that older child while the other parent stays with the younger kid. I hope that makes sense. It's just kind of like a fast pass in a way, because you get to go back to the front of the line and you get to ride that ride. The kid gets to ride it twice, so they get the best of everything. The older kid gets to ride it twice. But it just gives you a way to stay together as a family, and then that each parent can ride with the older kid that wants to ride, while the younger kid always has a parent there to watch them when they're not riding. So those are my top 10 tips for going to Disney World, and I hope these are helpful. Maybe some things you haven't thought of that you might want to try out to make your trip a little bit easier and more enjoyable. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for me, either with or without kids, for Disney World. And I hope you like this video. Please like it if you do, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.